Welcome back. If you guys are new here, my name is Crystal. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to sublimate your very own Santa's cookie tray this year. So we're going to be using our Sawgrass SG1000 along with our 13 by 19 papers. So I'm going to take you guys over to Sawgrass Creative Studio and show you how I designed it out. Over in Sawgrass Creative Studio, we're going to go ahead and start out with our blank canvas. You could choose a 13 by 19 sheet of paper right away, or you could create your own custom canvas, and that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to be printing it on the 13 by 19, but I'm going to choose those custom sizes so I know I'm going to have the exact print that I want. So I'm going to come in here, change it to inches right away, and then I'm going to put in my width. I'm going to start out with that 17.75. I'm giving about 1/4 of an inch on each side for bleed. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, 11.75, and hit create. So from here, we can go ahead and check out some designs or backgrounds that Sawgrass has for us. I'm going to come into designs. You could search for these by simply coming down to their Christmas selection, or right up here in the search bar, you can simply type out cookie, for example. You're going to see a few different samples here. We've got cookies for Santa. We're going to scroll down. You'll see this one here. This is the one we're going to use today. We've got a few more here like Let's Get Baked. And then if you guys turn the page, there's actually 2 pages here. And then there's a couple more right over here. Now keep in mind, you can get rid of some of these elements and just use what you'd like. So let's come back over here and let me show you. We're going to click on this one right here. Now this was designed more for a square, but you can resize these. So for example, these are all individual pieces. So I could start out with my background. I could either select it all, or for example, I'm going to start out with this background and I'm just going to drag it out to cover everything. So once I do that, I can quickly come in here and move all of these elements. They're all individual, so I can resize them, move them wherever I want them to be until I'm happy with it. I also like leaving some of these at the bottom so they fall off of the tray. So once you're done, you're going to hit print. You're going to choose your printer, your tray. I'm going to be using my bypass tray today, and then I'm going to be using my 13 by 19. I've already got it set to mirror, and then I'm going to choose the MDF settings today, as well as vivid. So I'm going to go ahead and come down here to my materials and choose that MDF like I said, and then we're going to choose that vivid, and we're going to go ahead and hit print. So once you send it over to your print manager, you're going to be able to double check all of those settings just to make sure that everything is correct. I think everything looks good. So we have our mirror on, all of those things. You guys can see that it's actually printing 12.9 by 19.0. So we're going to go ahead and hit print. As you guys can see, there is tons of designs already ready for you, and then I just sized it out to my needs. So I've already got it printed out for us, and then we have our tray ready. So this tray right here, I found over on JP Plus. Definitely check with your dealers to see if they have one. So this one I do believe is 17 by around 11. So I can go ahead and double check that here for you guys. I do believe it was like 11. Let's see, about just a little bit, maybe 11.25 by 17.25, because you have to allow for this to be put together. So it's gonna come with all of these pieces here to put this together as a tray. So it's really cool. We've got all of those pieces. Now keep in mind, just as usual, make sure you check to see if it has that plastic coating, which mine does. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove it now. Now that I've taken off that plastic, the next thing we want to do is make sure that you have your heat press already ready to go. So what I did was I already turned on my heat press this morning, 400 degrees for 60 seconds. So I am using a clamshell. You could definitely do a swing away. You definitely want to have a bigger press for this one. So this is a 16 by 20 and it's going to fit on here perfect. So one of the things I want to do before I get started, once you've peeled off your plastic, I'm going to go ahead and just double check and make sure I'm getting a nice pressure. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that down just a little bit more without cracking our board. Push this real quick. All right, so I think this is going to be good. All right, so before I got started, I went ahead and just tested that out to make sure. So now I'm going to go ahead and take this back over here. It's going to be a little bit warm. So we are going to get ready to apply this. So what you can do here is you could definitely take some Pro Spray adhesive or just use your heat tape, which is what I'm going to do today. So I'm actually going to let this cool back down just a little bit. So before you actually heat up your heat press, I would recommend testing your pressure first so you don't have to worry about this being hot. But I forgot to do that this morning, but definitely wanted to point it out. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my heat tape while that cools down really quickly. All right, so now that I've grabbed me a couple pieces of heat tape, what we're gonna do is we have our design here. We've mirrored it as usual. It is ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and take our design here, lay it out flat, and then I'm just gonna get this guy right on top. So I'm just gonna try to line this up nice and even, just like so. I'm gonna go ahead and come down just a little bit on my design, just centering it up. So what I'm gonna do from the back side here is I'm gonna take that heat tape and I'm just gonna go ahead and go down both sides. So this is just gonna help prevent any sort of ghosting that could happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this side here and we're ready. So you want that nice medium pressure for this. So we're going to pop it in here just like so. Now you may wanna go ahead and protect your lower platen. So I'm gonna do that now. I'm just gonna pop on 2 pieces of parchment. Pull this out so you guys can see a little better. So I'm gonna cover that bottom platen here with 2 pieces of parchment, pop this on top, and then I'm gonna take 2 more pieces for the tap. So we're gonna go ahead and push this in here. All right. And then we're going to press down, just like so. All right, so that's popped open before I could grab it, so let's pray there's no ghosting. And let's go ahead and peel. So I'm gonna go ahead and very carefully lift this up, and very carefully I'm gonna bring this over. So it looks like I got a tiny bit of ghosting there in the center, but I think I probably should have actually brought up my pressure. So I do think I needed a little bit more pressure here in the center, but as you guys can see, how super cute is this? So I'm gonna go ahead and let this cool down for a minute because it is super duper hot, and then we're gonna put it together. Now that it's starting to cool down, we're ready to go. So you've got a few pieces here, and then you're gonna have a few screws. You're gonna just simply need a screwdriver for this project here. So let's go ahead and put it together. So basically on our sides here, you have these little lines right here. It's gonna be super easy to pop together. You could personalize these by adding your last name, or you could pop the kiddos' names on here, etc. Now there's elements too, so you guys could definitely just take those elements and definitely feel free to create your own. But they do have some designs for you. As you guys can see, we were able to just create this. So what I've actually done is I pulled one side off, pop this end on, and I'm gonna go ahead and get 2 screws in here, and then we'll keep on going, because if not, these kind of want to just falling off. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these 2 going, just so they don't move on us. It's like so. And I'm gonna go ahead and pop the 2 screws in. I'm not gonna tighten it down all of the way, but just definitely getting those in there to secure this so it's not moving on us. So I'm gonna go ahead and get another one on this side. We'll come back and tighten those in a minute. So now let's work on the next side. So we're just going to pop this one on. You could definitely start down here on the end and work your way up, just like so. And so now we're gonna go ahead and get our next 2 in here, just like so. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop in my last screws, and then I'm just gonna tighten everything up. Now that we have it put together, it did come with these little foam pieces here, and I'm gonna assume that they are gonna go right here and technically be your feet. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop these down right here. And I can imagine that Vic was probably making fun of me the whole time of how I put this together, but that's okay, that's all right. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop all of these in here really quickly. All right, so I'm gonna get 1 more here, just like so. And so there we go. So that way it sets nice and smooth and doesn't tear up your countertops. And there you guys have it. It was that easy to sublimate our very own Santa's cookie tray. Now you could add the kiddos' faces on here, so you could add portraits with these things. You could make a housewarming gift, lots of different things you could do with these trays. But I just wanted to show you guys that you could make your very own Santa's cookie tray this year. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys on the next one.